Before the Bronx had chaos, it had rhythm. Before gangs ruled the streets, fighters ruled the ring. No masks, no colors, just gloves and grit. They weren't soldiers, they were gladiators. And this is where the fight began.
Born from the fire, where the city don't sleep. Sweat hits the concrete, pain runs deep. Fists like thunder, hearts of steel. Ain't no armor, just how we feel.
Every gang had their thing, their gimmick, their colors, their cause. But the gladiators, they didn't need costumes. All they needed were their fists. They weren't about fear or flash or fame. They were about form, about the sound of gloves cracking leather, about staying on your feet when the whole world wanted you down. This is where their story begins. The Bronx burned in the early 70s. Whole blocks gone dark, gyms closed, schools abandoned. That's when Marcus Prime Henderson, 32, came home from the service and found his old boxing gym, the arena, boarded up and looted. The place that taught kids discipline, gone. He could have left. Instead, he pried the door open and swept the dust off the ring. That night, 4 kids showed up. No home, no hope, just hungry. He trained them. He didn't call it a gang. He called it keeping the rhythm. If you can control your breath, you can control your fear. That's what Prime told them. That's how the gladiators were born. Not in violence, but in rhythm and sweat. Their purpose: to restore discipline to the streets, to fight with honor, not chaos. Territory: 163rd Street, near the abandoned boxing gym locals, still called the Arena. Name origin: the kids nicknamed themselves Gladiators after an old fight poster in the gym. Bronx Gladiator, one night only. By '74, the Gladiators were known throughout the Bronx, not for causing trouble, but for stopping it. When 2 rival crews wanted to settle a score, Prime offered the ring. 3 rounds, no weapons, no police, just fists and rules. Win or lose, you touch gloves afterward. Their code: never swing first, never fight dirty, never quit early, always get up. They weren't the biggest, but they were the most respected. People came from blocks away just to watch. The arena became neutral ground, a place of discipline in the middle of chaos. Uniform? There was no uniform, just sweat-soaked trunks, hand wraps, and heart. Their colors were bruises and pride. Leadership: Marcus Prime. Henderson, founder, trainer, father figure. K.O. Carter, enforcer and fastest hands in the Bronx. Tina Lionheart Morales, first woman in the ring, strategist, moral compass. The corners: 4 lieutenants, named for the 4 posts of the ring, each guarding a side of their block. When the destroyers started shaking down small-time hustlers near 163rd, Prime refused to pay protection. They called him out. He didn't bring guns or blades. He brought his fighters. At the 3rd Avenue Bridge, under the roar of passing trains, gloves met fists in the rain. The fight became legend. No rules, just heart. Prime dropped the destroyer's Virgil with a clean left hook that echoed through the borough. Result: the Gladiators earned their reputation that night. The only gang that fought with discipline instead of rage. They fought like boxers. They moved like a family. They hit like thunder. From then on, they were judges of the street. If 2 gangs had beef, they'd take it to the arena. It wasn't about survival anymore. It was about legacy. Success breeds ego. K.O. Carter started making side money, charging outsiders to fight for the Gladiator name. Prime warned him, Once money enters the ring, honor leaves it. But by late '78, KO wanted fame. He set up a public fight without Prime's blessing. When Prime found out, words turned to fists. The two fought alone in the gym, their final spar. The candles went out. The ropes snapped. The gym caught fire. When smoke cleared, Prime was gone. Some say he left the Bronx. Others say he never made it out. Aftermath, the Gladiators splintered. Some joined other crews. Some disappeared. At Cyrus' 1979 truce meeting, only 2 gladiators showed up. Older, quieter, still wearing gloves tied around their necks. When the fire took the gym, it took their heart. But the code survived. The arena was rebuilt, not as a gang hideout, but as a youth gym. Boxing posters returned to the walls. Kids from every block came to train where the Gladiators once stood. They didn't know the stories, not fully, but they felt them. They could sense the energy in the wood, the echoes in the ropes. A dusty photo still hangs by the front desk. Prime and his fighters smiling after their first match. The caption, handwritten on the frame, "Honor over hype." The Gladiators didn't die. They evolved. Their code lives in every kid who throws a clean punch and gets back up.
Every scar's a story, every hit's a prayer. You don't run from fear, you meet it there.
They didn't wear costumes. They didn't chase fame. They didn't fight for power. They fought for something most men forgot: honor. In the Bronx, they turned broken gyms into sanctuaries, bruises into lessons, and every round into a prayer for survival. They were more than fighters. They were teachers. And even now, and every time a glove hits leather, every time a kid steps into a ring with nothing but heart, the Gladiators live on. If you felt their story, if you believe honor still matters, hit that like button, subscribe to Real Reelz, and drop a comment below telling us which gang or legend you want to see next. Because every block has a story, and here we bring those stories back to life. This was the Gladiators, Arena of Honor. And remember, in this city, honor always beats hype.
Gladiators.